If you're chronically online like myself, you would have seen on social media that it is lock-in season. But what does it actually mean? For me, it's about focus. This year has been fantastic with so many ups, so many wins, as well as downs. There have been some challenging times, and it's a time to just review and reflect and have a look at my goals at the start of the year to say, okay, what have we done? What haven't we done? And it's okay if I haven't done something, but moving on, what else do we want to achieve this year to set ourselves up for a great 2026? So that's what it means for me. It's a time to sit down and just kind of get a little bit more grounded. It's getting colder outside. We're getting back the pumpkin spice lattes, and it's just a time to turn down the noise, although it feels like there's loads of noise right now when you are watching the news and social media as well. But we need to remember to just kind of look at our own lives. That's what you have control over. You don't have control over the world, maybe within like your immediate environment, but not the world. So just sit back, have a look at your life. What can you control? What can you do? And then start putting a plan in place. Lock-in started for me on the 1st of September, and I actually started a boot camp. Like, I'm going to this farm in Ivor and we're doing boot camp exercises, and I reviewed what I'm eating, and I am doing loads of meal prep as well. And yeah, I'm just looking after my health as well as my mind, as well as my body, as well as my business, because I feel like for the past couple of years, it's just been about Roots to Fruits. Whenever someone would ask me how I am, my answer would be, oh yeah, this is what happened in Roots to Fruits, and this is what I've achieved in my business. And it's like, well, how are you actually? And I did not know the answer to that. I was like, I'm just surviving. Whereas now, if you ask me, I can genuinely say that I feel really good. I I feel like I'm in control of my body. I feel like I'm in control of my finances, the business still, and other aspects like the relationships that I have as well. So that's me. But today I am dedicating this episode to supporting you, and we're going to go into the details of what locking in actually means. It's not just a trend, it's not just a little hashtag, it's something that you can actually use to create a framework to help you with getting back that control over your life. And obviously, this is from Roots to Fruits, so it's heavily focused on your finances. So let's get into it. When you're making a change in your life, the first place to start is your mindset. How is your mental health? Where are you at? Have a temperature check to just see where you're at before you start focusing on, I have this goal, I have that goal, because before you know it, you might not achieve it and then blame yourself. So it's important to just have a look at your mental health. Where are you at? 2025 has been so challenging, and I feel like we need to protect our peace and we need to just make sure that our inner world is safe. So I would start off with that, just making sure that you're grounded and maybe create some boundaries for yourself, for your loved ones, for your workplace. Just create some boundaries to make sure that your inner world is protected. We've had so many guests on this podcast that have shared that mindset is important. And we've got guests that are authors that have written amazing books that help you shift your mindset. And we've also reviewed books as well that help you look at, okay, what is your relationship with money? So you can go ahead, I've got in the show notes, some links in there so you can peruse. And also there are past episodes that you can go and watch again to just see which book mostly resonates with yourself. So you can start to shift your mindset, learn a little bit more about your relationship with money, and then start to make the change that you need to make. I read somewhere that success is not about how intense it is, how much effort you put in, like one day out of 2 weeks, but it's more about the consistency. So if you were to put in 15 minutes every day, actually that's worth more than 1 hour one day. So I'm taking that on board, especially when it comes to my exercise and the food that I eat. If I fumble one day, that's okay, because the rest of the week I'm actually being good. So just remember that, especially when we set ourselves a challenge or we set ourselves a goal. We said everybody's locking in at the start of September. It's been, 3 weeks now, and a few people might have forgotten about that, but it's okay, because you can start again. And it's all about consistency, and it's all about taking small steps towards your goal rather than one big step and then you never reach it. Okay, so here's some homework for you. What's one tiny daily action you could commit to this season that would move you closer to your goals? Have a think about that. Write that down every day at the start of your day. Just write down your goal for that day. And then before you know it, I'm sure you would have achieved it in no time. Okay, so this next section might be a little bit triggering for some of us. I'm going to be talking about the dissonance loop and procrastination as well. Have you ever said that you want to do something or achieved something, but notice that your actions aren't matching up, and then you get disappointed at the results? Well, that's what's called the dissonance loop. It's exhausting because deep down you know that you're not in alignment, and it's really hard to just kind of close that loop off, especially when it's been kind of going on and on and on for years. It's really hard to recognize that that's where you're at, and that's what's stopping you from achieving your dreams. You could say that you want financial freedom, but you do not check your bank account. Maybe you don't even have a budget. You're not looking at your savings account. You're not reviewing what's happening in the economy, what's happening with the interest rates, but you want financial freedom. So it's really important to just kind of sit down and think about, okay, I wrote my goal a couple of months ago. What are the actions that I have done towards it? So there's so many planners as well out there that you can use to write down, this is my goal. And then you write down, okay, these are the actions that I'm going to do. So then after a period, then you could be like, okay, did I actually do it? Did I achieve it? That plan that I set, did I put in effort? I know you're triggered, and that's okay. We're here to learn, and we're here to grow and develop. And yeah, just sit down, ask yourself those questions, and be honest with the answer. And let's talk about procrastination. I think this is so complex. It's easy to talk about the theory behind it, but what can you actually do to stop procrastinating? I find that it creeps up on me. Like, it doesn't just happen and I know that I'm procrastinating. Actually, I figure it out maybe days later that, oh, I haven't been doing that task because I'm procrastinating. And it takes a lot of energy actually to have the fear of doing it and think about, okay, I've got this task, I need to do it. All that energy lost on thinking about it rather than just actually doing it. So, as I said, if you have your plan, if you have your goals, if you have your to-do list, and you set aside time to actually do it, then you're most likely to do it. Rather than thinking, oh yeah, this is on my list, but I haven't set time for it, and you're not reviewing whether you've done it or not at the end of the day, then it starts to creep up on you. I read somewhere that procrastination is fear in disguise. It's fear of failure or even fear of success. Wow. And the trick to overcoming this is just start. Just start. Just start. And your homework for this one is to just write down one thing that you feel like you're procrastinating on. It could be a big task, it could be a small task. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Just write down like, oh yeah, I think I'm procrastinating on X, and this is what I'm going to do to overcome it. Let me know if you wrote something down. When we try to do everything all at once, we end up doing nothing. And this is when overwhelm and just being busy and getting fatigue over what you're doing and burnt out, that's usually what happens. And this is because you could have big dreams, you could have big ambitions, but actually no plan to get there. And overwhelm can really stop us from achieving our dreams. So another thing with the great locking, it's all about focus, as I mentioned before. So with that, it means that you're not taking on too much, and this isn't a negative thing. This isn't a toxic thing either. We're doing this peacefully with love, and you're just writing down your goals, but then you're making it achievable. I've talked about SMART goals before, and yeah, I'll share the link as well to one of the episodes that I put out around writing down your SMART goals. And we've got a workbook as well that you could use to write down your goals, make sure that they're SMART. And one of the things that you have to make sure your goals are achievable, meaning it's not too much and then you don't get stuck. Something that I do on a daily basis, I say daily, maybe every couple of days, is that I write down in my diary, right, 3 things that I'm going to achieve today. And this is actually something that I spoke to Anna Samuels, who was a guest on the podcast. And she mentions that she just says that there are 3 things that are non-negotiable for her. As long as she's achieved those 3 things in the day, then she's okay. So you're not writing down 10 things that I'm going to achieve today. It's just 3. And there could be a mixture of like really big tasks and small tasks to make you feel like, you know what, I'm winning in life. So that has been a lifesaver since I felt really overwhelmed at the start of the summer. And now I feel really peaceful and things are just working out and it feels easy for me. And I think it's because of those good habits. If you feel like you are stuck at the moment, especially when you're about to get a breakthrough, that's when it feels like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed and I don't know what to do next. So just sit down and start to write down the areas that you feel like you're stuck. Or maybe talk to someone as well and talk to someone who's achieved what you're trying to achieve. And hopefully that can help you get unstuck. A task that you could do for this is talk to someone and also write down the areas that you feel like you're stuck right now. And also, if you're feeling overwhelmed, like there's so much that you have to do, write everything that you have to do down and then prioritize the first 3 things. And then that's what you can do today. And then tomorrow, go back to that list. What are the next 3 things? Take out anything that's noise, anything that's actually not priority. Take that out. What can you push back? And before you know it, you'll get loads of clarity. Something that's been really clear for me the past few years is that there are seasons for everything. It has been really loud on social media and listening to certain podcasts that you're always meant to be hustling, you're always meant to be grinding. If you're not achieving, then, where are you at in life? And I've learned recently that there's a season for everything, meaning there's a season for rest, reflection. You need to build in time to just recover, to sit back and just look after yourself as well. Because a lot of great people have fumbled at the worst moment, and it's because they haven't taken the time to just be quiet, to just sit down, plan, reflect, relax. If that means for you to just have a Sunday where you're just vegged out watching Netflix, do that. If that means that you like to walk, to be outside, do that. Meeting up with friends and not thinking about your goals, but thinking about yourself and just relaxing, do that as well. Because sometimes we just focus on hustling, grinding, getting to that end goal, and that person has achieved this. Why haven't I achieved it? It's because I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. every day. No. Sometimes there's a season for you to win, and there's a season for you to relax, there's a season for you to plan, and then there's a season for you to reap what you sow. So ask yourself what season you are in right now, and then plan for it and you can look ahead in terms of, okay, if this is the current season that I am saving and I'm saving for this goal, and hopefully I'll achieve it in 2026, then just calm everything down and start saving, say no to things, It's okay for you to say, no, I can't do this because I'm actually just saving up for my goal, my dream. That should be okay. And that's that current season. And maybe after you've saved that amount and it's time for you to celebrate, that could be that season whenever you've actually achieved it. When people think about financial wellness or budgeting, they're thinking, oh, I'm going to be deprived, but not really. All it is you planning for the future and having a little bit of certainty, having a little bit of control over your finances. So make sure that your actions are matching up with your intentions. Now let's talk about intentions and the power of writing something down. Research shows that you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals when you write them down. 42% more likely. So it's important to write down your goals, but more importantly, your intentions. And I think they're different. So your goals is just, okay, what is it that you're actually going to achieve? What you're trying to do? I feel like it's more tangible. You can actually kind of see it when you've achieved it. Whereas your intention feels a little bit more like a feeling, or it feels more like, okay, I intend to do this, or I am doing this because X. So, for example, when I set down the goals for Roots to Fruits a few years ago, when we started doing the in-person events and also reaching out to businesses so that we can deliver financial wellness to their employees, the intention was clear that I want to make sure that the people in the room hear the message. I want to make sure that I'm actually supporting people, and this isn't ego driven, that the people that need our support are the ones that we can reach. That's the intention. It's a little bit different to the goal. For example, the goal that we set ourselves in 2024, September 2024, is that we're going to support 10,000 people in a year. That's more of a goal compared to the intention in terms of why are we doing this? What are we intending? And yeah, so I feel like it's really powerful to sit down and just think, well, why am I doing this? Why am I setting this goal for myself? Because you need to remember that when it becomes really hard, especially if you're a business owner. I'm pretty sure you know that it gets difficult really quickly. And if you do not know your why, your mission, what's going to keep you going? And a lot of really successful people always say that you should surround yourself with people that have achieved what you're trying to achieve. Now, I'm not saying that you should now say goodbye to your friends and family if they're not where you're trying to be, because they're your support system. What I'm saying is that if you want to achieve something, for myself, it's being a successful business owner. For myself, it is being a public speaker and offering people the encouragement, the empowerment, the confidence that I used to lack. Now I have, and I'm trying to pay that forward. I surround myself with those people, and I've done that through being a panelist for the past, I don't know, several years. I've been a panelist, and then I make friends in that way, and also just reaching out to people on LinkedIn that I admire. And also, the podcast has really, really opened up my network. I have reached out to people that have achieved what I'm trying to do, and I've had the pleasure of learning from them and also connecting with them, because going forward now they know who I am and I can ask them certain questions. So I'm not saying everyone should start a podcast, because I nearly gave up 10 episodes in, but we're still here. But yeah, not everyone needs to start a podcast. But what I'm saying is just find a way to get yourself in front of the people that are doing what you want to do, the people that can motivate you, and the people that can lift you up instead of pull you down. I'm also an accountant, which has meant that the clients that I target now are high net worth business owners, and also businesses that have ambitious goals, and I can help them to go from 0 to 1 million, for example. And it's been really great to have these business owners that think of an idea, put in the work, and then before you know it, I'm seeing a product, it's done, and they're getting investment. I'm supporting them along, but actually I'm learning so much from how they conduct themselves, how they move, how they motivate themselves, how they grind, and how they also find time time to reset and connect with their loved ones. So that has been a really great one. That wasn't my intention when I started providing accounting services, but actually it opened me up to amazing business owners that I also consider to be friend-ish in terms of the people that I talk to like on a monthly basis. At least now it feels like that we can share ideas, and also I open up when I'm struggling with something and they can offer me some advice because they're also business owners. So yeah, open yourself up, see how you can get yourself in front of the right people and in front of the people that could motivate you and that are doing what you want to do. If there's anything that you can take out of this, because lock in sounds a little bit like, okay, a buzzword, but actually it's not, and it is it's what it means to you, right? For me, it's about grounding and it's about focusing, and it's not about burning yourself out. It's not about hustling until, hustle until you die. No, we are not going to do that because your health is very important. Hence financial wellness. We're focusing on the wellness part of things. So in this period, you're looking at what you wanted to achieve at the start of the year, or maybe halfway through the year. And then you're having a look at whether you've achieved it or not, whether you've saved, invested, whatever it is, got that degree or whatever it is for you. Have a look at that. Don't beat yourself up if you haven't done it, because you cannot go back to the past to redo it. Just sit down, think, okay, going forward, what can I do to improve things? What can I do to make sure that I actually achieve this goal if it's still important to you? Or you can scrap it, have a new goal for the rest of the year into 2026. So we're not scrambling on the 1st of January 2026 to write down our new goals and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to da. No, this is the time to just have your winter arc, lock in, and achieve your goals. Please let me know what they are and let me know if you liked this episode. It was a little bit more holistic, so I want to have more conversations that are open and candid. So let me know how you felt about this episode and what you're going to do to lock in. I'll see you next week. That is all for us today, guys. Join us next week for some more seeds to sow. And please remember to support us by following and leave a rating on our show on whichever platform you're listening to us from. To those watching on YouTube, please leave a like and a subscribe to our channel. All of your support goes a long way. Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, keep shining.